So before she went into this endeavor of control, Michael gave her some really good advice that I wanted to make sure that I write down and say on here, because me, I'm an artist and a creative, and not only do I just love Janet as a musician, but just as someone who dreams of being in a space where I can create the music and the art that I would love to do for a living. You know, I look up to her. And this is for like the creatives out there. Like, say you might watch me because you're into music and film and you're creative as well, and you do your own projects, whether it be like music production, you play instruments, or you know, you're into videography or animation or whatever. You know, like, this is a safe space for the creatives too, especially like the underdogs or people that people count out and say like, oh, you ain't gonna be nothing, oh, you just a local whatever, you know, or you know, don't know, not everybody likes your kind of vibe or whatever. That's okay, because when you're a rare breed and a visionary and someone that seeks to break the mold from what everybody else does, you know, usually you're ahead. But I wanted to make sure I wrote this down, because what he told Janet, obviously she took it and ran with it, and I was like, okay, this spoke to me, and I wanted to make sure I said that here on this channel too, because not only is this a space where, you know, I kiki and have a lot of fun, but you know, I want this to be a space where I speak encouragement and love and hope for anybody who has a dream for anything, no matter how old you are or what stage that you're in, or if you've been struggling or you feel like you've been doing this for forever and they break through yet. Like, no, we gotta keep going, because God put you here. The odds of being a human is crazy in itself. So the odds to have the gifts that you got is necessary and is needed for this space. And I want to make sure that I take a moment to say that. So what Michael had told Janet, I mean, and it's Michael Jackson. Like, who wouldn't want to take advice from the Michael Jackson? I mean, he had did it already at this point. So he said the three things: always practice. So always be working at your craft. There's like that saying where it's like, if you you master a skill when you put 10,000 hours into it. So I think that's very important. Always be practicing, and you will always see videos of him like rehearsing and practicing and dancing all the time and perfecting his moves. Granted, granted, he got that because Joe Jackson was always like really hard and stern on them, and Michael spoke to like experiences of Joe just like, you know, whipping them if they didn't perfect their moves, but ultimately paid off to him being one of the greatest performers of all time. Not justifying it, but it paid off for him being one of the greatest performers of all time, because he was known for his precision. Like, his dance steps was crispy, and he was smooth. He was smooth when he needed to be, and it hit, and it was hard when it needed to be, and it was like when he would do his little butter glide, you know what I'm saying, and the moonwalk and all that. But you know what I'm talking about, when he would do his little circle feet, John, you know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna have to piece all these videos together like a puzzle, honey. Okay, because it keeps stopping on me, just trying to stop my greatness, but you can't stop me. Nikki voice.
Yeah. When they see this little thing here, back up and kicking, they be like, yo, what the fuck is it gonna take to get rid of this bitch? You can't get rid of me, bitch. I'm not going nowhere. I'm not going no fucking where.
Always practice, right? And I feel like my issue is trying to practice too many things. Like trying to practice singing and playing the piano, playing the guitar, editing videos, like styling a shoot, building a set, taking the pictures, editing the pictures, you know. When you're a multifaceted artist and you gotta be all the things and wear all the hats, all the divine hat that I just so happen to style and create myself, that will be on sale soon if you check out the description at the bottom, you know what I'm saying? Shameless plug, you know what, I gotta do what I gotta do, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to say struggling artist. I'm a artist building their success in the beginning stages. So, you know, help the artist out, especially if you are feeling like a divine one and you love the divinity vibes, you know what I'm saying? You're like, ooh, the House of Divinity is a house I wanna, you know. I'm just saying. Anyway, I know, don't judge me. Now, the girls that can vote down, don't judge me. I'm practicing on that too, okay? But you know, I love a good Vogue, okay? I love a good, yes, yes, yes. Always practice. 1. 2, never give up. That's key. Like, people say that all the time and it's such a cliche, but no, it's really facts. Because you giving up is you, the biggest fail is you giving up before making it versus you trying and failing. At least if you're failing at something, or I don't want to say failing, if you don't break through, or you don't have the success that you want, or it might not turn out to be the best results that you were expecting, you're learning. There's always something to learn. There's always something to gain. There's always something to build upon. You know, never give up. I know I'm like really diving deep in these lessons, but like, no, like this motivation and like empowerment, that's like really big for me. So you're gonna get a little bit of that, and probably like a little bit in every video. So just sip on that hibiscus empowerment tea, okay? And you have to be confident. You have to be confident in yourself. Like, you can't doubt yourself. You can't, I mean, there's of course moments where you're nervous and you might feel like you have imposter syndrome, and like there's certain rooms that you shouldn't be in, but nah, you can't. Like, the greats are confident because they know their craft. And when you practice and you know and you have your talent, and you know this is what you do, and you like, I do this, you have to be confident in that. Like, you have to be like, yeah, I'm that one, because you are. And if ain't nobody tell you, I'm telling you, you that one. You know, there's like this audio on Reels and TikTok that's like floating around the interwebs, and it's like, yeah, sure, the market might be saturated, but they gift don't pop like how your gift pop. So you gotta put your stuff out there, you know. And even if it's not quite where you want it to be, you gotta learn along the way. Like, stumble forward. Like, you know, of course I would say study your craft and research, and you know, depending on what you're doing, if it's like a talent thing, or if you're like, say if you're coaching or whatever, you know, if you want to be an expert at a thing, like, of course, do your research. Now, I've made the mistake of jumping into something where I wasn't as, like my first shop, the Root Supply. I jumped into that without having the experience and the, just like the full knowledge of that space. Like, I knew sales and I knew business, but you know, being a manager is different than being a business owner. And I learned that the hard way. And you know, jumping into a space before you really know all that much about it or have that experience firsthand, you know, but I had the best of intentions when I started. You know, I felt like there was a lack of representation when I started my shop, but how I went about it wasn't the best way, and I didn't know enough. So I made that mistake, and I share that with you in hopes that you learn from my mistake, because they say a smart man learns from their mistakes, a wise man learns from the mistakes of others. So I share my mistake and my experience so you can learn, okay? And also a moment of motivational tea, okay? That might be a segment. I don't know. I'm feeling that. Are we feeling that? Like a motivational segment in the videos, you know? I think that's a vibe, because I've always wanted to like incorporate like a little pick me up, a little motivation, and you know, cheering the girls on, you know, because that's important. And I'm all about that. Like literally I wake up and listen to motivational videos. I know we're off task here, but it's important. And especially for people who might be like socially awkward or loners, or you know, or you just keep to yourselves, like just having somebody just kind of like speak life into you and speak empowerment into you, and just like knowing that you can do what you do and that you should fight for it and don't give up. That's key. So I just wanted to take a moment to highlight what Mr. Jackson was saying here. You know, Mike was dropping gems, and I just wanted to make sure I highlighted those.
Uncut Gems.
Right.
Do you know what
Uncle Jam.